welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new, and welcome to the Monster Mash readathon vlog. Or as I'm calling it, Monster Mash-oween. Because why not, right? It just seems fitting. I have been waiting for this readathon all month long, really since Gabby and Olivia announced it. So excited. They always do a readathon around this time of year. So if you do not know, the Monster Mash readathon, it has a different theme every single year, which is also just so fun. This year it's Monster Mash, and it is a readathon put on by Gabby from Gabby Reads and Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte, and they do this, like I said, a couple of times a year. They usually do one the beginning of the year, sometimes in the spring, summer, and then Halloween. So really like once a quarter, and it is just so freaking fun. And there's always prompts to follow, so let me share with you what the prompts are for this readathon. The first one being, let a coin toss decide your first read, which we are going to do together in just a moment. Read a book with a monster in it or a monster on the cover. Listen to a spooky audiobook or read a horror graphic novel / manga, and read a book in the dark or at night. So we will definitely be doing the read a book at night or in the dark, because I read mostly at night anyways. That's just the time of day that I, after work, it's like the perfect way to unwind, so we do that. I do have a book with a monster in it or on the cover, so that's good. We are going to do the coin toss. So the only one that I might not hit is the audiobook one or graphic novel / manga. I'm not really into graphic novels and manga, so that's kind of out. And I looked on all of my platforms that I use for audiobooks, and none of the ones that I'm reading are available right now because, thrillers, horrors this time of year, I feel like they're all checked out already. And I just don't feel like paying for it. But I might try and see if I can find a quick little horror novella or something like that on audio. Or maybe I don't know. We're going to scour Libby basically and see what's available. So I might get to that one. I might not. But you know what? 3 out of 5 isn't so bad, so I'll take it. So now that we have that out of the way, let me show you what I'm going to be reading. And this readathon goes from Friday the 28th to Monday the 31st. It's actually Thursday the 27th right now as I'm filming this. I'm getting a jump start early so that I have time to read all the things that I want to read. So don't tell anyone. I'm cheating a little bit. I'm adding an extra day, but I make my own rules around here, okay? So the first book that I'm going to be reading is Kill Creek, or I shouldn't say first one. We're going to let the coin decide, but one of the books that I will be reading is Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. This is a haunted house story about a group of authors, I believe, who go and get invited to stay at this haunted house to see whether or not it is haunted or not. That kind of vibe. So we have this one. I have been saving Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney to read because this takes place the night of the 30th into the 31st of October. So I just figured, you know what? I want to read this around the same time. I'll probably end up starting it. My guess is the 29th or whatever, but still, it's close enough. It's close enough. And this, I've heard, is kind of like an Agatha Christie vibe, where we have a family on an island. The grandmother dies, and then I believe they slowly start dying one by one, and you have to try to figure out who it is. So, a little bit of a mystery. I'm not sure how much of a thriller it is. I don't know if it leans more on the edge of mystery than thriller, but regardless, from people that I follow, they have loved this, so I'm very excited. I didn't really enjoy Rock, Paper, Scissors from Alice Feeney, so I'm a little hesitant, but at the same time, I know that a lot of people have loved it, so I'm hopeful. And then the last one, which is the one that fits the monster prompt, I'm saying it does, okay, is the Southern Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. That is a mouthful, by Grady Hendrix. So vampires, we have that. Also these Halloween colors. I just feel like also with the black, white, and red on this too, like I'm in the zone with the Halloween theme. But yeah, we have the vampires in this one, so that's what I'm going with for like my monster. I don't really know if you consider vampires monsters, but I'm going to for this readathon. This one will probably be last on my list, so I might not even hit that prompt. It's on the TBR, but I definitely want to get to these two. These are like my top 2 priorities, and then if I like breeze through both of those, then I will read this one. This one is about 400 pages, so it's a little thick for just a 5-day readathon, 4-day readathon, but I'm gonna try my best here. I really don't have any plans this weekend on purpose, so I have plenty of time to read, and like I said, I'm getting a head start, so I'm hoping that I have time, but we'll just have to see what happens, you know? Like I said, these two, top priority, especially this one, because this one has to go back to the library very soon. So we're gonna toss a coin to see which one of these I am to read first. I'm very excited. Let's do it. I think I have a coin around here somewhere. I do. I have a quarter. Let's say heads is Kill Creek, tails is Daisy Darker. Okay, that was better. Heads, Kill Creek. I'm very excited. This is the one that I wanted to start with anyways, so I'm very happy about that. So let's go ahead and get to reading Kill Creek. Hello, it is Friday, which means it is officially day 1 of the Monster Mash Weekendween, Monster Mash-a-ween, whichever you want to call it. Figured I would update you while I do my makeup today so I can be a multitasking gal. So I started Kill Creek last night. I didn't make it as far as I was hoping to. I only got up to page like 70, I think, because, okay, let me first by saying the writing is actually like extremely good. It's just so good. It's so descriptive, but it's almost too descriptive. It is extremely wordy. So for a 400-page book, the pages are literally jam-packed with tiny writing, and like I said, the writing is gorgeous, but it's almost overly descriptive to the point of like being distracting from the story because you have to read every little description of every little thing. I wish I had the physical book to like read something from right now, but it's downstairs in the living room and my husband's on a meeting. So, but like it's just so overly descriptive. And you know, like I said, the writing is so good, but it is extremely distracting. Besides that, I'm really liking it so far. We're just kind of still in these setting up stages. So at this point, page 70, we have met all 4 of the horror authors who are going to be staying at this Kill Creek house for 2 days. They were summoned there summoned, right. They were invited. Summoned, I think, is more appropriate. They were invited by a guy who runs a website that's almost like, just like horror, almost like a horror fan page, pretty much. But he has a business, and he invites them under the pretense that they are going to be interviewed there for 2 days. Then they don't know where they're going. They all just think that they're going to go to a place and interview with this guy for 2 days, which they all think is really weird. We've gotten the perspective from 2 of the authors, like a couple of chapters each. We literally just met the other 2, but the first 2, they think it's very strange. They're like, why is this interview going to be 2 days long? So they are invited with not many details, but being the horror authors that they are, they're of course intrigued, so they decide to say yes. And each of them has like their own hot mess of things going on in their life, of course, because character development, you have to. And yeah, so they've all met for the first time just now and really are starting to understand like what's happening here. They haven't gotten to the house yet. We did get a little sneak peek of what could possibly be unfold, or just like a little sneak peek of the creep factor that is this house in one chapter of the guys who were going to like set up the house. But so far, that's really like the only little bit that we've gotten on the house. So I'm liking it so far. Like I said, the writing is really good. It's like, the descriptions are great. I just think it's too much. It's too wordy and I'm distracted, and it's taking me so long to read because you have to read every little description, every little word, and I just like want to skim through it and find out what's next, but that's just obviously not the way to read a book. But we'll see what happens. I also found on my library app on Libby the audiobook for The Patient by Jasper DeWitt. So I've also been listening to that this morning. It's only 4 hours long. We love that in an audiobook. I cannot stand audiobooks that are like 14 hours long. Like, what? And I listen most of the time on like 1.5 to 2 times speed, but still, that is just too much. But it's very intriguing so far. We're just like getting set up here. So we have this psychiatrist, I don't know his official title. He just moves to Connecticut and starts working at this hospital where there's this patient who apparently is just locked up all of the time, and everyone who works there is extremely scared of this dude. And even like the nurse who goes in to like give him his medication is like, he creeps me out, he gives me nightmares. I feel like I'm unsafe afterwards and during, and I think about it all night long. And so like, you know that there's definitely something going on with this guy. And I believe what's going to happen, I didn't even really read the premise. But from what I understand, from what I've heard, this like is a thing that I do. And I feel like a lot of like thriller horror people can relate. It's just like you don't want to know too much going into it. So like I very rarely read the premise of books. As long as I have like a general gist of what's going on, I'm good. But what I believe happens is this guy like volunteers to give this guy like therapy, find out more about his story, and like, because he's been there for almost his whole life. Apparently he was like let out once and then whatever. So I think this guy like volunteers and is like, hey, I'm gonna give this guy therapy, that like everyone else is scared of this guy because that sounds like a good idea, right? So anyways, it's interesting. The audio narrator is really good. That's always a plus. I mean, that's like a must when it comes to audiobooks. So that's where I'm at reading wise. Today, like I said, is Friday. It's like a half work day, half not for me. I do have a couple of hours left to work this week, so I'm gonna spend that like scheduling content for the weekend and getting things prepared for next week. And then I believe I'm gonna do what I always do, you guys, because I live my life on repeat. No, I'm just kidding. But I am gonna go to the library, I believe, like after lunchtime or so, and get the rest of my work done. And then Gabby is actually doing some reading sprints this afternoon, 2 p.m. my time. So if I'm still at the library then, I'm just going to do the reading sprints at the library. I'm like, what a better time, huh? So I'm gonna bring my book with me, get some reading done this afternoon, and then this evening, I really want to get like a good chunk of Kill Creek read today, but like I said, it's going so slow, because there's so many words that I don't know how far I'll actually get. But I would love to get at least like halfway to 3/4, which I think is totally doable if I do reading sprints. If I go on the reading sprints, because I always am like hyper focused when I do that. So that's my update. I'm gonna finish doing my makeup and then get myself situated and ready to go and pack up all my stuff, get my to-do list ready, and then we will head to the library. I feel like I go to the library literally in every single vlog, but like I love it so much. I cannot recommend if you work from home, like getting out. And don't get me wrong, I do like a cafe every now and again, but when I have to, a lot of my job is like writing. I have to write like copy for emails and content and stuff like that. And I just find when I'm writing, I need as a little distraction as possible, or else it takes me way too long, because I'm one of those people that puts like a heck of a lot of thought and care into the copy that I write, because I want it to be the most helpful. So it just takes me a little while, and if I'm too distracted, then all bets are off. It will take me way too long, and that's not productive for anyone. So anyways, yes, I'll be going to the library again. Really, I'm not gonna apologize for it, because that's just, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoy it. Okay, I'm rambling now. I'm gonna go finish my makeup, get myself ready, and then we're heading off to do some work, and then we'll do some reading sprints. Hello. I just got to the library. I also got myself a cookie from Starbucks, because why not? And they warmed it up for me, which is just so nice. So I think I'm gonna eat my cookie first though, because that paper is really loud and I don't want to be that person in the library. So I'm gonna eat my cookie, then go in, get my last little bit of work done, and hop on the reading sprints. Hello, good morning. It is Saturday, and I have had a busy but chill morning so far. Took Zeddy to go for a walk. She destroyed a toy, which is like her favorite thing ever. Ate some breakfast, watched Bake Off, took a shower, and now I'm about to remove this disgusting nail polish off my fingernails, because it is chipping so bad and it is driving me bananas. And also I would like to be able to paint my nails tomorrow, so I'm gonna take this off, give my nails a break for the rest of the day, and then paint them tomorrow. But I wanted to give you an update on Kill Creek. Yesterday, with the just like reading that I did and being on the sprints, I got up to page 154, so like a third of the way through, And I have mixed feelings so far still. Kind of the same of what I've talked about yesterday, and then some new things as well. So I'm gonna start removing my nail polish and talk to you while I do this. Let me first by saying I still stand by what I said yesterday of the writing just being a lot. I was on sprints yesterday with Gabby, and Gabby has read this book before, and so I was in the chat saying, like, I just feel like this is so overwritten. It is literally taking me so long to read. Like, normally, in a normal book, I would be up with, like, the amount that I've read so far, like, hours I put in, I would be up to, you know, page 300, almost be done with it. But I'm only on page 154 because I feel like this book is so overwritten. Sorry if this camera starts shaking. Like, rubbing this off. And she was saying that it's like, this book is really wild. It's almost like a mind twist because you're following 4 horror authors. So already from the books, like, already from their perspective, the book is going to be a little bit overwritten because you are reading from author's point of view, which means that they're going to describe things, you know, quite in detail. And then you have, of course, the author himself, Scott Thomas, overwriting as well. So it's almost just like a complete mind twist because it's just writing on top of writing on top of writing. And like I said, the writing is gorgeous. It is, like, I'm not complaining about the writing itself. It is just a lot. It's very wordy, so it's taking me a lot longer to read. And so far, like I said, I'm up to page 154, and really, like, we're just getting into things right now. So far, the only things that have really happened is we've been introduced to each of the authors, they have gotten settled into the house, and they just had their interview. And some little, like, I wouldn't even call them spooky, but just some, like, weird things have happened to each of them. Some unexplainable things have happened to each of them. Nothing like overly creepy or anything yet. I have a feeling this is going to be an extreme slow burn because it is a 400-page book. So nothing crazy has happened yet. They are one of the main perspectives is from an author called Sam, and he has had something happen in his childhood, and I feel like they all have something that they're kind of like hiding, so there's that, like, you know, level of mystery happening. But he also is like super weary and untrustworthy of the guy that's hosting the thing. His name is Wainwright. He owns that website and who is conducting the interview. So he's like he thinks that there's just something off with them. He keeps seeing him and the camera woman like whispering in the corner or whatever. So he already has, like, his senses are heightened. So I have a feeling something's gonna, like, come back around, or he's just, like, really losing it. Who knows? And then we have one of the only female author there. Her name is Moore, like Moore. That's her last name. That's what they keep calling her. I like her. She's very spicy. She's a very spicy character. She is very much, you know, feminism to a T. She called someone a twat, which I was like, I haven't heard someone call someone that in so long. It just made me chuckle. So I like that about it. I like her character. She writes, like, spicy horror, things that just, like, spicy's not even the word. She writes, like, crude horror, like crude sexual horror. So all of them are like, you know, she's like, if people don't like it, they don't get it. And it's just, you know, she's one of those. So I like her perspective. I think that she's got, like, a hard angle to her, but also something probably happened to her that she's keeping back and that she's holding back. So there's that. And then we have one of the other authors who writes young adult horror. And Scott Thomas, the author of this book, like the actual author of the book, is fat-shaming this man to no end, and it's pissing me off. Like, he keeps describing how big this man is, how his stomach hangs over his jeans, how pudgy his arms are, like in great detail. And I'm like, can we just stop with the fat shaming? Like, we get it. You could say it once and be done with it, but no, it's something that you have to like keep holding on to. And he's a Christian, he's religious, he writes for teens, so he's automatically kind of like the outcast of the group. You know, he's very soft, not my wording, and it's just making me so mad because I just feel like they're picking on him, but also I feel like the author of this book, Kill Creek, Scott Thomas, is picking on him, and I do not like it at all. So I don't really enjoy that. So that's kind of my thoughts so far. Like I said, I'm only up to page 154. Nothing like crazy spooky, nothing crazy wild has happened yet, and feel like I'm just like getting into it now. Like I said, we just had like the interview between them all, and something that I thought was going to be like so like tumultuous ended up being like just kind of okay, like that happened, great. So I'm hoping it picks up and that it gets spooky and scary and that the history of this house is like revealed, and that's what I really like about it. I like that they all have something in their personal lives that they're hiding, so it just kind of like adds that level of anxiety. So I like that, and I also like the history of this house and what's happening. That's my update so far. I haven't listened to any more of The Patient today. I'm gonna have to do some cleaning tomorrow, so I think that's probably when I'll listen to it. Like I said, it's only 4 hours long, so as long as I listen to it a little bit each day, I have no doubt that I will get that finished, but yeah, that's my update. I really don't have anything planned for today, so I'm just gonna kind of be reading off and on. The Book Troops book, book club live stream, Gabby's book club, is today. I DNF'd it. It's for the book Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. I DNF'd the book, but I'm still interested to watch the live show and see what other people thought, and I'm gonna do that today. Other than that, my only plan is to literally read. I would hope to finish this, but I have 250 pages left, and if it's taking me this long to read 150 pages, I don't know if that's gonna happen. So I may only get to 2 books during this readathon, this one and Daisy Darker, but you know what? That's okay. It's okay. That's what I keep telling myself. It's okay. Technically 3 books if I'm listening to an audiobook, but it's only a couple of days, so it's really hard because Monday I have to work. Like, I work full time, so I don't really have, I'll have like Monday evening to read, but that's about it. So nail polish is removed. I'm gonna go wash my hands and wash the nail polish remover off my hands, and then probably read until the live show or until I am in need of some food, and then watch the live show, read some more. So I'll probably check in with you tomorrow and let you know where I'm at, unless something groundbreaking happens during this book that I feel the need to share or vent about. Sunday. My muffins are in the oven. It smells so good in here. These muffins are like my go-to during the fall time. They're pumpkin chocolate chip, and you can put walnuts or pecans or omit the nuts if you just want like a nice sweet treat. They are so good. I have made them. This is like my 4th time now. They're just like the perfect little snack in the afternoon. They are not the healthiest by any means, but like, it's fine. We don't worry about that around here. I mean, we do, but not like overly. Anyways, I made them I didn't make them. I like talked about them in another vlog, and then I was like, that's rude. I should just like show them how to make them. I will have the recipe linked below. Of course, it's not my recipe. I found it on Pinterest, and it's so easy, and they are so delicious. So those are in the oven. I'm about to make some lunch, and then Liv from Liv's Library is having some reading sprints. She's actually hosting another readathon with a couple of other YouTubers, and I was like, I can't do 2 readathons at the same time. I'm like barely reading enough for this one, I feel like. I mean, not really. It's just Kill Creek is taking me forever. But I still love to hop on sprints. It's like the best way to have the like most productive reading time, in my opinion. My husband's watching the football game, so I was like, this is perfect. I'm just gonna throw on sprints and actually finish my book, because I literally only have like 80 pages left of Kill Creek. And okay, I have some thoughts. This book has literally been a wild ride. I think I said that yesterday, but it's been wild. So I'm not going to spoil anything because I try to keep my vlogs spoiler free, but what I will say is about halfway through this book, it like takes a turn that I was not expecting, and a turn that I think is extremely unique for a haunted house story, and I'm here for it. I was like, oh my god, this is so different. And at first I was like, do I have mixed feelings about this? Because it was literally like at the 200 page mark, you know, the story starts going and then it changes and you're like, oh, okay, this isn't something that I've seen before. And I was like, okay, I now have 200 pages left. Like, a 400 page horror book is really long in my opinion. Like, really long, almost too long. But I'm intrigued. And I have gotten really used to the writing style at this point, so I am reading a bit faster now. And I like the way this is going. I do not know exactly how this is going to end, which I love. I'm still very new to horror, so I feel like with thrillers, I have more of a chance of like guessing the ending. But with horror, I'm still a little bit like, anything's possible, right? Because really anything is possible in horror, and this is kind of also like the tone of this book. So I'm interested to see what happens. Like I said, I only have like 80 pages left, and these last 200 pages, because of this like turn that it takes, is so interesting, in my opinion. So I'm definitely like super invested at this point. I need to know what happens. I need to know what is going on. And so yeah, I'm still like have mixed feelings about it. I do still think like Scott Thomas is completely fat shaming this one character, and it still is like irking me. But overall, I'm really liking the story, and now that I'm used to the writing style, it's going a bit faster, so I'm gonna finish this today, and then I'm going to start on Daisy Darker. So it should only take me like an hour to finish this, and then I will probably give myself a bit of a break, to be honest, to like reset my eyeballs. And then I'm gonna start on Daisy Darker later today. I probably won't be posting this vlog until Wednesday because that's my upload day. So I actually am giving myself a little bit more time in this readathon, even though this readathon ends technically tomorrow, which is Halloween. Tomorrow's Monday, so I still have Tuesday to finish whatever book and like put it into this vlog. So I'm extending this readathon for me until Tuesday. so that I can get to Daisy Darker as well. I haven't listened to any more of The Patient. To be fair, I've just been kind of like lounging and reading this and like really wanting to finish this, so I haven't even like prioritized audio whatsoever, but I do have some things tomorrow in the morning that like I just will throw on to eat like while I'm getting ready, planning out my week, cleaning, that kind of thing. I was gonna clean today, but don't feel like it. For being honest, I just do not feel like it. So that is my plan. I'm gonna make some lunch, hop on sprints, finish Kill Creek. I will let you know my final thoughts. That is my update for now. I'm starving, so time for me to make some lunch, and then, oh my god, have fresh muffins out of the oven. I love when baking Kyla happens, because just the best. That I'm just rewarding myself. It's truly the best ever. You like my Halloween jammies? Literally have the pants on too. This is what we are rocking during our workday today, because why not? My friend Katie Ann gave me these pajamas while we were on our Gilmore trip, which a vlog is coming soon for that, don't you worry. But and I was like, oh wow, I don't have anything Halloween-like, so meaning like comfortable enough to wear while I'm working from home during the day, because I'm not gonna sit in a costume. That's just weird. And it was perfect. So rocking the Halloween jams today. It is Monday, so I am working today, but I wanted to come on real quick because it is the last day of the month. I'm gonna give you, hold on, my mind going a million miles a minute. I'm gonna give you an update on my reading in a little bit, but before I do that, I'm gonna do that like while I'm on break for work, like around lunchtime. But for now, real quick, it is the last day of the month, which means that book of the month picks are up. So I thought we could pick my book of the month. Let's see, November books. Choose my book. That's what I would like to do. I don't know what they are yet. I'm very curious. Choose your book. Contemporary fiction, not. Magical realism, maybe. The Wilder Women, never heard of it. One sister can see the future, the other people's One sister can see the future, the other people's memories. Got it. Whoa. Together they can unravel their mother's disappearance. Thriller. Love to see it. The Last Party. Claire McIntosh. Nobody likes the reflection in Mirror Lake when a dead body bobs to the surface and starts unveiling all their secrets. That gives me House Across the Lake vibes, and I don't know if I want to put myself through that again. Horror. White Horse. Interesting cover. This hard-drinking, heavy metal-obsessed indigenous woman is determined to confront family ghosts, even if it kills her. Interesting. Let's read more of that synopsis. Some people are haunted in more ways than one. Don't we know it? Heavy metal, ripped jeans, Stephen King novels, and the occasional beer at the White Horse. Interesting, because I live near a beach called White Horse, but this is not talking about a beach. Have defined urban Indian Kari James' life so far, but when her cousin Debbie finds an old family bracelet that once belonged to Kari's mother, it inadvertently calls up both her mother's ghost and a monstrous entity, and her willful ignorance about her past is no longer sustainable. Interesting. Haunted by visions of her mother and hunted by this mysterious creature, must search for what happened to her mother all those years ago. Okay, let me read the synopsis of the whole, and the other one is a literary fiction, which I just don't, no thanks. I'm gonna read the synopsis of the thriller real quick. I think I'm gonna go with the horror one. We're gonna go with White Horse. Why not? Because normally if there's not a book that I'm not absolutely obsessed with and want to get, I will just skip, obviously, because I'm not gonna waste my money. However, The Cloisters, which is one of my most anticipated reads for the end of the year, is an add-on. Tough call. I think I'm gonna go with White Horse, the horror one. The idea of a ghost and a creature, I just spit. The idea of a ghost and a creature sounds interesting. Plus we have a family drama going on, and one of the little icons says snarky, which I love a good snarky character, absolutely. And if it's the ghost that's snarky, even better. Probably not gonna happen, but that would be fun. Add to box, why not? Box. All right, so we have White Horse, we have White Horse, Sign Here, The Cloisters. Can you just believe also that I am this energized right now and literally have only had a smidgen of caffeine? Yeah. This is what Halloween does. Yeah, White Horse. What a vibe. Those books are both black and red. And my box last month was all white, red, and black. What is happening to me? But The Cloisters totally throws it off. But I'm so excited. That name makes me laugh so much. Cloister sounds awful. But the book sounds amazing. So, okay. White Horse, Sign Here, and The Cloisters. Perfect. Ship my box. I freaking love Book of the Month so much. Hello, I'm back. Okay, so let's talk about Kill Creek. I needed some time last night after I finished, which took me so long to gather my thoughts after I finished. I'm gonna give this 3 stars. It was good. I enjoyed it. I still think it is extremely overwritten. I think that there are a few problematic things in there. Language, the fat shaming, which I already talked about, and I'm not gonna like talk your ear off about because I already have so much. And just a few other things that like I didn't really enjoy about it in like a problematic standpoint. From a story standpoint, I thought that it was different than any haunted house book that I have read before, and that's a good thing. Halfway through, there is this turn that it takes, and you're like, how is this even possible with 200 pages left? Like, what in the world is happening? But the ending of this, as interesting as the ending was and totally different than the ending was, the ending of this book, and I mean like the actionable ending of like what's unfolding and what's happening, was over 100 pages long. Like, most of the time, the end of a book that's like, you know, the action part of it is like 50 pages. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, I do wish I had like a little bit more. But with this book, I wish I had so much less. This book went on forever and ever, and it just kept going and going and going, and things kept on happening, and it was like, enough already. Enough. And I might be alone in my opinion in that, but because this book is so overwritten, in my opinion, it just takes you forever to get through. I have read an 800-page book that took me less amount of time to read than this book. Like, there are just so many words, and like I said, the writing is really gorgeous and really nice, but it's just so much, and the ending was just so much. I will say that the epilogue, so good. Like, chef's kiss, amazing, and it just leaves you with that just like satisfied haunted house feeling. But beyond that, I don't really have much to say other than what I've already said a million times. So it's gonna be a 3 for me, middle of the road. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than A Haunting of Hill House because at least things happened, but it was just too much. Too much. I'm glad I read it. I'm glad that it is off my TBR, and I'm glad to move on to other things. So I am currently reading Daisy Darker as well. I'm like only 50 pages into it or so I don't really have much of an update for you, other than I love me a thriller, mystery, whatever, that like counts down, because it just puts this like overwhelming anxiety around the story, and I love that. So in this book, we are following a family who reunites for their grandmother's birthday, and her birthday is on Halloween. So they stay at her house overnight, the house of the 30th into the 31st, and it counts down the hours, and she lives on this like little island that you can only get off of when it's low tide. So you can only arrive and leave when it's low tide. So they have to stay the night to wait it out. And so it's counting down. So you get there and it's like 5 p.m. Then it goes to 6 p.m. So counting up, but counting down. Because you know, counting down to when they can leave again is really the thing. And I just love that. I love the writing style of it. Nothing crazy has happened yet that I've read. We've all just kind of gotten there. They're settled now. They've had dinner. And just the writing of the family and their dynamic is so relatable. If you have a family that's kind of like divided, or a family that has its own bit of drama, which, let's be real, pretty much every family does, the writing of it is so relatable. The way, oh my god, there was a few lines where I was like, wow, I feel that in my core. So I love that. Enjoying it. I have a feeling it's going to be a very fast read when I can actually sit down and read, which I'm going to do in a little bit. I'm almost done with my work day. And then this morning, I was listening to The Patient on audio, and you guys, I was enjoying it. Exactly. I was enjoying it up until the like 70% mark. And then something happens, then something's talked about, a of where the story is going to go, and my heart just sank because it is my least favorite scenario in books. I hate it so much. So I'm not going to ruin it because there might be other people out there. Oh, the dog's here. Might be other people out there who really want to read this, so I'm definitely not going to spoil it, but it is my least favorite thing. I've talked about it before. Hi, would you like to say hello to the camera? What? Oh my goodness, sweetie. Oh, look at this. Friends. Oh, yeah. Oh, friends. Oh my goodness! Wow, look at over here. Where are they? Look at. Oh! Yeah, I know. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I've talked about it before. It is my least favorite thing when it comes to books and when it comes to thrillers or mysteries that don't say they're going to take on a certain direction and then they do. I'm gonna finish it because I only have like an hour of the audiobook left, so I'll finish it tomorrow morning when I'm like doing stuff, eating breakfast, putzing around, but I was very sad. I was very sad. I was really enjoying it up until that point, and then I was like, oh man, here we go. I'm trying to like overlook it because I might actually enjoy the ending, but like my guess is probably not. And it just made me really, really sad. So that's my update. I'm going to finish up with my last little bit of work stuff, then start reading more of Daisy Darker. So you'll hear my final thoughts before I end this vlog officially. And yeah, that's it for now. It is now Wednesday. Work has been crazy the past couple of days, so it's taken me a little bit longer to finish reading Daisy Darker, but I just did, as you saw, and wow, that book was a ride. I really enjoyed it. I love books that do a countdown, or count up, I guess you say. It just gives this book like an overwhelming sense of anxiety, and I really like the nod to Agatha Christie, and then there were none. Like, it was very much like that, where you're just like hour by hour, the more of the story is unraveling and things are happening hour by hour, and it's like counting down to something, counting down to the reveal, and you know it's going to be crazy, but you don't really know what's going on, and I freaking love it. I also loved that it took place like from the 30th to the 31st, like into Halloween. That just like made the vibes perfectly. And the ending was crazy. So it did take, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it did take a turn that I wasn't really expecting, and something that at first I was like, oh, I don't think I really like that. I'm not here for like that side of things. However, there's still a little bit left after that, and the explanation behind it I thought was really well done. So even though it wasn't my favorite kind of twist, I do think there were a few twists that, like, for sure I didn't see coming. And this one particularly, I definitely didn't see coming. And like I said, not my favorite by any means, but I do think it was really well done and really explained well. But like, the end of the story is fucked. Like, let me just say that. It's completely fucked. I mean, really, this whole story is, to be quite fair, but like, what in the world? But I still enjoyed my time. So I don't know what I'm gonna rate it, because that ending kind of threw me, where it's not something I really love to see. So I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna be a 4-star, like absolutely. It's definitely not a 5-star for me. It was definitely gonna be a 4-star, but now with that ending, I'm like, is it a 3.5? But like, I still enjoyed it, so I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I think that it's definitely one of the best, like, I wouldn't call it a thriller really, but like mysteries that I've read in a while that nods to Agatha Christie, because a lot of books try to do that and fail so hard. 9 Lives by Peter Swanson, just saying. Like a completely awful. So I really like that this did it so well. So I'm gonna give it 4 stars for that. And for the rest of the book, you know what? Even though I didn't necessarily like love the ending, like I said, I still think it was really well done. And that's my thoughts on Daisy Darker. Talking about the readathon, which I know I'm like a few days late finishing, but like, that's fine. I don't mind. I work a full-time job, so I have to squeeze reading in when I can. But I did follow most of the prompts. So we have coin toss, did it. Read a book with a monster on the cover or like a monster in it. And I'm gonna say did it because Kill Creek, that house itself is a monster, and that was on the cover. And also some things happen in that book. That, and also there's talk of like monster in this in like a totally different way. So I'm gonna say check. Read a spooky audiobook or graphic novel, manga, whatever, did that with The Patient, and then read a book in the dark or whatever. And I read mostly at night. It's a daytime now, but I read mostly at night, so definitely accomplished that as well. So like, I checked all the boxes. I didn't think I was going to, but I did, which makes me so happy. And really, this is the end of this vlog. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me during this Monster Mash-a-ween, this Weekendween vlog. I read some good things. I read some okay things. There were some frustrations. There were some ups. There were some downs. But overall, it was fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I love these readathons. I look forward to them so much. So a huge thank you to Gabby and Olivia for putting them on. Like, I just thank you so much. They are so fun, and I cannot wait to see what the theme of the next one is. I think January is the next one. And like I said, I will have everything linked below, their channels and everything, in case you are interested in checking them out. If you're not already, which I'm sure you are, but like, just in case. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are not already. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
With you and I, the future is bright.